there is an idea of a Wicked Widow American Psycho palette.
No, there really is one. It just got here in the mail.
I got my book out, I got my movie out, Austin Butler's on his way over, let's do this. Wicked Widow Beauty just recently released their collab palette with American Psycho for the 25th anniversary of the movie coming out, and I am so excited. I haven't looked at it in real life. Oh, he's upside down. I've never tried anything from Wicked Widow Beauty before, and this just felt like the perfect time for me to do so. Ooh! That's a good looking palette. There's only 5 shimmers in here. I thought I would start by eye swatching the shimmers and then maybe do a look after that. But I just wanted to say, like, about this as a whole, I'm so excited about the color story. I feel like so many brands recently have been doing collabs with like horror themed IPs, and a lot of them end up looking really similar. Of course there's red, of course there's like dark colors, but like, how many red and dark color palettes do you need? You know? How often, how many days out of the week do you wear like red and dark colors? And for some people it's about collecting, and that's totally valid, but I try to only buy things that I feel like I'm going to get use out of. And I was so excited when they revealed this, that like there's a bunch of neutrals, because I do incorporate neutrals into all my looks, but there's also some fun colors. And this palette is magnetic. So there are 5 shimmers, and I'm most excited about these 2 up here. Let's start with Stray Cat. Okay, I feel some nice texture in there. Looks very shiny on my finger. I don't have any eye primer or anything on, so we're just going right onto the lid. Ooh, that's really nice looking. I'm always nervous about shimmers and palettes because I feel like I have such a high standard of shimmer from having so many beautiful single shadows. But this is a really nice shimmer. It's more of like a metallic finish, but it's bold. I like the color. It's not too like straight up silver. It's a little bit interesting. I could definitely see myself wearing this. Next we have Dorsia. This one I thought might be a little bit lighter than it actually is. Oh, but in the swatch it doesn't look too deep. That looks really pretty. Oh yeah, this is the one. Ooh, I love this. Ooh. Ooh. I feel like this shadow looks like an eye look. It looks like you have a deep shade down and you like carefully placed a silver shimmer on top of that. I love that like the tones are so different, that we have like more of a warm toned and a cool toned shimmer on top of that. I love this. Wicked Widow, you did that. I love this. Like, this is a look. This is a look. I love that. The next shimmer is Frenzy, and this one I can really see the duochrome in. I'm not sure if it's coming up on camera, but just in the pan I see this like deep blue with pink mixed into it. These are very textured shimmers. Like, I definitely feel the texture coming out of the pan when I pick it up, which is my preference when it comes to shimmers. And there is a little tack to it when I put it down. But again, I prefer that over it being totally smooth. I don't think this one's quite as intense as either of the other 2 that we already eye swatched, but it is a pretty blue. I don't think I'm going to pick up this palette just to put this blue in my eyes, but I could imagine myself incorporating this into looks that I do with this palette. This next one, Envy, this one doesn't look textured in the same way that the other shimmers do, and it definitely feels a lot more smooth also. Oh, I like this shade. I'm very picky about my greens. Ooh, but I really like this forest green shade. I feel like there's a certain like brightness coming from within, and I can see the like duochromatic. That word worked in my brain. Duochromatic. No, I can see the duochromeness when I look at it. I can see like the dark base, and there's like a yellow gold in the light. I do like this. Yeah, interesting. Like, if you asked me in the pan which one of these I would prefer, I would have thought this one, but I definitely prefer this. Duochromacity? I like that better. Okay, and then the last of the shimmers is Vein, which looks like this shimmery white down here. I know that they said that all the shimmers were duochromes, but I'm not really seeing in the pan what the other color would be. Oh, interesting. This one looks chunky, but it feels very soft, and it's definitely a bit thinner, which makes me think it will work well as an inner corner shade. Oh, that's pretty. Because I thought from looking at the pan that it was going to pick up chunky, and I don't like a chunky inner corner shade, but I could definitely see using this formula for an inner corner shade. And I think it has a bit of that like wet look on the eye too. I like how it kind of fades into my skin when it's out of the light. All right, cool. Yeah, this one gets my stamp of approval also. And I could even say doing a really simple look where I pick up like a crease shade, I put this over the eye, and like I go to work. Because what does Patrick Bateman do if not go to work? Oh. Okay, let's talk about the mattes. I'm really hoping that I like them considering most of this palette is mattes, which I do feel like it's easier for me to get on with the matte than it is for me to get on with the shimmer. So when I saw it was mostly mattes, I'm like, that has like a higher likelihood of being a palette that really becomes part of my rotation. So let's do some swatches. Oh, I was prepared to defend the dark browns. Do you believe these are 4 separate shadows in a palette? Okay, we have Superficial, Reservation, Mergers, The News. Alright, I mean, they are a little different. Please excuse the blush stain that I have swatched there. They're a little different. You know, as palettes go, a lot of times palettes do have repetitive shades, and I feel like at least this is like a useful shade that's repetitive. And I wonder if in use, maybe I'll see some differences. Because like they are a little different. This one's a little bit more warm, this one's a little cool, this one's a little lighter, and this one's a little more medium. I don't know. I can't defend this too much. There's 4 dark browns. I am really excited about these though, because I love a crease shade. In fact, like, the palette that I ranked number 1 of 2024 was a palette that I just used a crease shade from. So a good crease shade is everything to me. And I like that there's like 2 different options. And the names, like the whole naming, the theming, the Instagram posts from this collection, I thought were so awesome. And you could tell that it was created and written by like a big fan of American Psycho. And I like that because I'm also a big fan of American Psycho. I'm going to not swatch over my blush stain. Okay, this is Evelyn, Paul Allen, Eggshell, Bone. Okay. I will say too, I'm excited to try these on my eyes because they don't feel like they're dripping in pigment. You know, like some indie shadows you swatch, especially like mattes, and they're like flaking off because there's so much color in them. I think that makes for really nice looking swatches, but in actual use, it makes them harder to use. I would much prefer a shadow that's like soft and buildable to something that like you plop down and you already have fallout all over your face and you have to like work to move that shade, you know what I mean? Okay, now we're gonna get into the fun shades. I really like the colors. Jean, Insane, Patrick Bateman, Detective Kimball. Yeah, those look really nice. Killer did feel a little bit more dry when I picked it up, but I know they say that reds are hard to formulate. I'll take a little bit more dry. And this color, this Greed, I mean, both of these look so special. I really like them. Killer, Greed, Double Life. Can you tell I'm not a professional swatcher? I don't know what look I'm going to do, but I'm going to do some look. And I'm really excited to see how these like perform with a brush on the eye. So let's check that out. So when I bought this palette, I also bought an existing lipstick from their line. This is something that I'd considered buying before and I didn't, but it's the shade Cursed, which is like a yucky green color. And it's actually what I'm wearing on my lips right now with a lip liner. So I'm curious how much the lip liner has affected the color. So let's do a little swatch of that. This is the Ma Beauty M1990. This is the Wicked Widow lipstick in Cursed. Okay, so I would say the lip liner probably affected it a great deal because it does swatch icky green, but it looks really yellow with the lip liner. But I don't hate it. I like it. I am going to switch my lip to something Wicked Widow and American Psycho when I'm done with the look, but figured I'll leave this on for all the other portions of this video. Okay, so moment of truth. I'm gonna start with Paul Allen. I feel like if this ends up becoming like a good crease shade for me, I'll be so happy to be able to use Paul Allen all the time. Okay, that's very light. Can we see the difference? I mean, it's very light. Sometimes I do want a crease shade that's really light if I'm going to be doing other things on my lid that I don't want to compete with it. But like for daily use, this feels very light. Okay, I'm gonna try a little bit of Evelyn also and see how that works. We also always have the question when using new eyeshadows of like how they work together. This one is clearly much more powdery, a little bit more gray in tone, but it does come up a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, so far nothing crazy, but I'm not too excited yet. Let's try a little bit of Jean in the crease. Hopefully I'm not doing too much in the crease, but I guess again, I don't want to have to baby my shadows. And we'll see if I can just keep layering, because that is something that I do sometimes. All right, so this one's coming up a little bit better. I can see the color down here, where presumably it's on its own, is a little bit brighter than the color where it's mixing with the other colors. But I guess that's to be expected. Okay, I mean, it's just a crease. That was a lot for just one crease, and it's okay. Review so far, it's okay. On a smaller brush, I'm gonna pick up the red Killer and see how that goes. I might try to do something a little bit more precise, but I figured I could just start like this. All right, and this shadow, first impression, seems awesome. Seems very pigmented. It looks like truly red and not pink. It doesn't have like fallout. Yeah, that's awesome. And if a palette has one shade, even just one shade that's awesome and I can remember it's there and I use it, then I'm happy having my palette, you know? So far, this is like the one shade. Yeah, that red is awesome. This looks so good. I really don't want to mess with water in a new palette, so I'm just going to try to pick this up on like a liner brush and see if that helps me get it precise. Okay, that gave me a little sharp tip. Patrick Bateman would be proud of that sharpness. I'm a little conflicted about what to do next. I kind of do just want to use these two mattes down here. I feel like that would be so fun. I feel like it would work best if I did a true cut crease, but I kind of feel like I don't want to go that hard. Like, I don't want to mess with all these like layers underneath and everything. I feel like I should just go in and see what happens, which is kind of like my motto. I'm going to use a pencil brush. Yeah, I'm going to use a pencil brush because I want to keep this precise, and I'm going to go in with Greed. Okay, these are kind of going together, but it's also kind of like doing something ugly where they go together. But I guess what did I expect? Yeah, I feel like maybe it's because I can't tell if it's because I'm looking at this so up close or because I'm like messing around so close to it that I feel like the red isn't looking totally full pigmented, but the green is. So I might have to touch up the red a little bit, which is okay. I am having some fallout, and I think that's from the green. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to touch up, but I like where it's going. I think it looks cool. All right, let's get some Double Life in there. I cleaned off my brush. I'm just gonna use the same one. Okay, this color looks really nice, but I do feel like every time I put down a color, it then disturbs the color next to it, and then the color next to it doesn't look as good as it did before. So I might just have to do a little bit of back and forth. Oh yeah, I mentioned this before, but then I forgot that this palette is magnetic, which is awesome, because even though, like, you know, my favorite thing about this palette so far is the packaging, but I love the idea that, like, I can take the shades out and mix them into other palettes. And I feel like this shade that I'm working on is special, and the red is special. Okay, let's get a little bit more of that green in here. I don't know if I'm expecting these to like blend into each other or just stand independently. I don't know what I expect. Okay, I mean, and I feel like this eye is giving me a little bit of like soft diffusion. And maybe that's what I'm looking for. Like, because then it is still kind of like distinctly different, but not so harsh next to each other. I don't know. Going back into Double Life. Oh. Going into Killer. I think it's okay. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. Definitely have to clean up under the eyes though, because that is something. I would say I always do my eyeshadow before my face makeup, but I also prefer when I don't have to like bring in the big guns to to wipe off the fallout. And I do have to bring in the big guns for this one, which just means a face wipe, but I did already have these. I did already have one out from wiping off the eye swatches. But on a daily basis, I try to not use face wipes. Okay, and I like that better without the fallout. Surprise, surprise, I like my makeup better without fallout. And also, from a little bit of a distance, I try to not be so overly critical of my makeup because for anything other than like Instagram pictures, it does not matter how perfect your makeup looks from this close up, you know? The way other people see me is from this close up, like maximum. And also the way I see myself is generally like this also, you know? So I'm probably gonna touch this up a little bit because we see there's like a little bit of, I want to say cross-examination. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. And I'm gonna put on my base and I will be right back. Okay. It's funny how like a minute ago I was giving myself a pep talk about like it not mattering if my makeup's not perfect from close up. Looking at my makeup in my other mirror, where maybe it's like less magnetized than the camera is or something, I'm like, it does look perfect. Sorry. It does look perfect. Now we're on to, the scariest part of my makeup, which is perfect for a horror collab. Doing my lower lash line with an eyeshadow that I've never done my lower lash line with before, because now my base is done. Now we have something to lose if this, has fallout everywhere. I had good luck with Killer. I'm gonna try Killer. I think this would look cool with just like a red lower lash line. So I'm gonna try to go slow. Yeah, nothing's even coming off of the brush when I flick it, but I'm still going to try to go slow and not go in with like a fully saturated in red brush from the start. Okay, that looks awesome. Wow. I feel like I never talk about like vegan makeup, even though all the makeup I use is vegan, I just don't explicitly say it. But that's a big thing with red shadows, that a lot of red shadows aren't vegan because they're made with crushed beetles. So it can be harder to formulate vegan reds, and Wicked Widow, this is a vegan palette. I think their whole brand is vegan, but like kudos to them for formulating a vegan red that's like this good. I feel like this is the best red I have in my collection. All right, that was not as difficult as I thought it would be. And we're in the clear, no fallout. Oh, I love that. What a good shadow. I love that. I feel like now also when I do like a BYOP and I want a red, I feel like I'm just going to take this one out of this palette. Like this is my red. This could be my one red eyeshadow. I'm so pleased with it. I'm gonna see how Vein works for my inner corner. Picking this up on my little inner corner pencil brush. Yeah, totally acceptable. You know, I do love my iridescence, so if I wasn't doing this video, I probably would still pick up an iridescent that ties into one of the colors that we have going on. But this works totally well. Like, this isn't too much of a compromise. I think I would just prefer the look of like a red iridescent or something in there. But formula-wise, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna put the finishing touches on this look. Well, I guess on the eye look, because I'm still gonna do the lip with you, but I'm gonna put the finishing touches on the eye look. I'm gonna use a red eyeliner and I'm so excited about it. I'll be right back. Okay, eyes are finished. I'm thrilled. I think this looks awesome. So the only other American Psycho product that I bought was one of the lip glosses. We'll talk more about the whole like product offerings later, but yeah, this is the one that I decided to buy. It's the red lip gloss. So it's the shade Bloodlust, and I wanted it because there was like a red elf lip gloss that I had been looking at. I can't remember why. Maybe I saw like a Get Ready With Me or something and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cute, and like I didn't buy it. But after that I was like, oh, like red lip gloss. Okay. So I'm gonna do a neutral lip liner. This is the Milani lip liner in the shade All Natural. My hope with this is that like, I don't know, I just want some like life to the lips, but I don't want it to look like I'm wearing a red lipstick. So I hope I can have that effect. This is really cute, by the way. I thought from looking at the photos that this was going to be huge. Like this is, I don't know why I thought that. I just thought it was going to be like a big ass lip gloss, and it's not. It's like a regular small one, pretty standard. Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. Let me do a little bit more. It's a pretty small doe foot. I do love when there's a big ass doe foot. But this is okay. Formula feels nice. And I even like that the shimmer feels kind of subtle in it. I find when some lip glosses are too shimmery, it looks weird with me also having shimmer on my eyes, which like 99.9% of the time I do have shimmer on my eyes. But I feel like this is a nice, agreeable shimmer that even if I did have shimmer on my eyes, it wouldn't compete. So I'm actually really happy with this lip combo, and I'm going to wear this a lot. This is the finished look, and I really, really like it. We still have a little bit of that cross-examination going on here, but that's just what happens with the shape of my eyes, and that really doesn't concern me that much. But all of these colors look so, like, pigmented and nice, and that red in the lower lash line blows my mind. I'm gonna be telling my grandkids about this moment. So let's talk about the collection as a whole. I do feel like this palette is like, you know, the centerpiece, the most exciting thing, but there were several other offerings in the collection. I will say my biggest problem is that there wasn't more like swatches available until after it launched. There were 3 metallic lipsticks. I'm not the biggest metallic lipstick person, but you know, I was particularly interested in this collection and looking to make a video about it, so I was open to buying other products. But there was no swatches of the lipsticks before launch, and I was like, I don't want to take that risk, spend like $20 on a lipstick and then realize I already have something like it or I don't like it, you know? There was a metallic red and a metallic bronze, and I have both those shades metallic from Unearthly Cosmetics. Then there was like a brownish one that I couldn't tell if it was kind of like purpley, and that might have interested me, but again, I just didn't want to take that gamble. And even now that some more time's passed, I saw someone shared, Wicked Widow shared a post that someone had received PR and said that like the metallic bronze looking one was kind of like interesting and orangey. And if I knew it was interesting and orangey, I might have bought that one. So I'm not really sure why the brand didn't send out PR that would be received before the collection launched, because that would have helped me buy more products, you know? I don't know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know if there was like a strict deadline of when it had to launch, but they also didn't have the products available until a couple days before launch, so that's why, or if it was on purpose. But yeah, that's my big thing. I wish that they had sent out PR to creators before, you know, so that they would get them before the launch. So I would have been able to see the products before launch and decide what to buy, because I instead decided to like not really take any risks, you know? And then they had the 2 lip glosses. I think they did post like a quick swatch video in their stories of the lip glosses. There was the one that I got that's kind of red. There was also a clear one. There was also a body oil, which was red, which I thought looked cool, but in my experience, I've purchased body oil before and I've literally never put on a body oil, and I'm not making that mistake again. And then they had the a blush duo that was like the business card, and that looked cool, but there wasn't enough swatches. There was no swatch on a cheek of the blushes. I think they showed a swatch on skin, but like you can't really tell anything about the performance of a blush from just seeing it swatched in full opacity. And one was red, one looked kind of like a like a peachy shimmer. I just felt like chances are they're not going to be the perfect blush shade for me. And as excited as I was to buy stuff from this collection and to own like American Psycho things, because I really like American Psycho, I also didn't want to buy so much so uncertain and have it become products that were like a burden. Like, it would be fun to receive in the mail this like business card blush. It'd be fun to like put in my little makeup storage, but I just know as time went on, in like 6 months, in a year, I'd be like looking to declutter blushes. I'd be like, I have too many blushes and I have this one that I like the packaging, but I literally never wear, you know? So again, I veered on the side of being safe, not purchasing more than I was pretty confident I would like, but I just wish that the brand did it differently so that I could have like had more information before launch. Because even like when the launch went live, I went to those lipsticks to see if there was swatch pictures on the listing, and there wasn't. It was still just like the same thing that was on Instagram. So it is what it is, and I know that they're a small brand, just that's my feedback. That's my opinion about the launch. I wish there was more information available, and I hope there will be for future launches. I'm super excited about this palette though. I love the look I got, if that wasn't clear already. I feel like the two crease shadows, you know, all of this I have to play with more. This is all obviously like my first impressions, but I did struggle with the two crease products because they were just way too light. That makes me wonder if like maybe this lighter of the dark browns will end up working as a crease shade or something. I don't know. I didn't even foray into the dark browns today. So a lot more experimenting to do, but I'm most excited, as I said, about this red. I'm in love with this red. I want to marry this red. And also Dorsia, that swatch that I got before was stunning. I feel like that was a full look on its own, and I'm really excited to wear that on my eyes really soon. And that's it. That's my thoughts on the Wicked Widow American Psycho collection. Did you order this launch? Did you skip it? Did you buy some of the products that I didn't? Have you found other conclusions about the palette, other standout shades, other shades to avoid? Let me know. Very curious. If you enjoyed this, I hope you will give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!